Good afternoon, Beck's team. Mark Morton coming to you from one of our test plots in Buffalo County, Nebraska. Just out here checking on things today, and I noticed a spot of corn that's a heck of a lot shorter than the rest. Can't really tell, but the shovel behind me here, there's 2 rows. We got this row here, and then another one right next to it. It's about 6 inches to a foot shorter than the rest of the field. It's kind of common to be seeing this time of the year. This corn is about V5 stage. It's just starting to actually really start getting some nutrients out of the ground. This is the stage where the corn plant is transitioning from using energy from the seed to the roots. And it's when you will see a lot of variability out in the field. I'm looking actually at a hill just on the other side of the road there, and I see some chlorotic areas, some yellow areas. So this is the time of the year when you'll start to see that, and the main reason for that is root formation. There's probably enough fertility in the soil. I know there's enough fertility in this field that there shouldn't be nutrient deficiencies here. So what is causing these shorter rows versus these taller rows? There are many differences, but main thing to look at, the main reason for these causes is probably below the ground. So I dug up some plants, and I'll show you what we're looking at and what I found and what I think is probably the problem here. So these are the 3 plants I dug up. Plant on the right, this is what is typical of this field. It's a healthy plant, V5 stage, about 12 inches tall at the leaves. The other 2 plants, same hybrid, same planting date, actually in the next row over from this plant, actually same growth stage, V5, but as you can see, about half as tall. Little corn physiology, this is probably a review for most everybody, but we have obviously our seed, then the main root coming out of that seed. That first root to grow at the beginning of the year is that radical root. This plant has a very long, almost 1.5 foot long radical root. A lot of fibrous roots coming off of that radical root. The next roots to come out, or the next roots that actually start bringing nutrients to the plant, or that are bringing nutrients to the plant this time of year, is our nodal roots. As you can see, we got a nodal root here, the second node, and even the third node. Nodal roots are starting to come out. These also might be known as brace roots. They're the same thing, but when that root hits the soil, it'll start forming these fibrous roots, and that's where the nutrients come from. So the main nutrients this time of year are actually transitioning to these nodal roots. So a good, healthy nodal root system is what we want to look for. So in our stunted plants, what are we seeing? What is the issue? Now, sunlight is very bright right now, so it might be washing it out. But I don't know if you can see, this is our radical root. Again, about a quarter, 25% as long as on our healthy plant. If I get up real close there, you can see how it's brown, almost burned looking on the very end of that radical root. And the other stunted plant is showing me something very similar, browned, almost burned looking. This tells me this is damaged, maybe some kind of damage to these radical roots. Since this field was strip tilled, my estimate, since this is just a small part of the field, actually, and it only takes up 2 rows, I would estimate that maybe that strip in this part maybe was not as deep, or the nitrogen did not get as deep, and these plants hit that nitrogen band a little bit earlier, and those roots got burned. That radical root was burned a little bit earlier than the other roots, but before the other roots could take hold, and that restricted growth. That stunted the growth. That radical root did not grow long like this sucker, and so it restricted it. With some water and with some time, this plant will catch up and be just as healthy. Most likely will not yield to the same extent. That's our issue there. Issues below ground. You can see there's burning on this radical root, no burning on this radical root. Take a look at the attached agronomy brief for more information. There's a lot of different things that could be causing this. This could have been caused by compaction. It's really hard to tell sometimes. There could be an old compaction spot here. I couldn't really feel it with my shovel. But and the roots don't really act like they weren't following the seed slice. That's something you could see as well. And seeing that burning, those burned radical roots, really tells me that yeah, it's something, possibly the nitrogen that was applied with the strip till.